Okay, and that brings us to staff reports.
All right.
Bill?
Well, let me start with the foundation. We just accepted a $90,000 grant. During the consent agenda, we accepted a $25,000 grant for Instagrants. So in addition to this large grant for STEM and STEAM work at every grade level, there's another $25,000 set aside which teachers can apply for during the course of the year. And those are not necessarily technology oriented. They're for any initiative, any progressive idea that a teacher would like to try immediately. Last year, I think we used about 24,000 of the 25,000, if not the whole amount. And that's going to be a great thing too. So whether you're a parent who makes a $100 contribution at tax time, or you come to the Wizards game, or you come to the gala, or you contribute to an ad for a teacher, all of these things are going to fund what is this year alone, $90,000 plus $25,000, $115,000. And over the course of the foundation, over $3 million in initiatives to the district. So that's just been tremendous. I should mention, if you're just hearing about the Wizards game, it's already sold out, which is a good thing. Second thing I wanted to mention is back to school nights. They are almost, if not, tonight might be one of the last ones. They've gone extremely well, great welcoming back, and larger crowds than we've had in several years. I don't know what that's about, but it's certainly a good thing, certainly a good thing. And lastly, I want to mention...
Bill, sorry to interrupt on that, but I learned this year, and kudos to the foundation folks for thinking of this, but after kindergarten back to school night, so you got the new parents of the new kids in the district, they invited everybody next door to the Brynwood Country Club for cocktails.
Brilliant.
To introduce them to the Education Foundation. I thought that was a brilliant,
So
brilliant.
those parents old enough to drink?
Some of them was questionable.
Some questions.
Really?
What a terrific introduction to the Education Foundation, to piggyback on back to school night
It's
for the
outstanding.
kindergarten.
And hopefully it'll be something they can do every year. It's just
It's
a lot
a
of
great idea.
Fantastic
because
idea.
People don't know what it is. So.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yep, no, that's okay. Finally, want to mention homecoming. Coming right up in a couple of weeks, October 2nd and 3rd, Friday night, will be fireworks as in the recent past, and some games will also go on Friday afternoon, and then on Saturday, October 3, lots of games on the fields all day long. We're hoping for good weather and big crowds, and seniors will be back. This is a little bit later than we had it the last couple of years, which I think will help with attendance a lot.
I'll be there.
You'll be in Italy.
You won't be
Oh, I'll be at the
this
next board, I won't be at the
time.
next board meeting.
Okay.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you. And Greg couldn't be here. He's out of town. You already gave yours to him. That moves us to Jen Lamia.
Hey, I almost feel like I'm punchline at the end of the joke. And this is
But I'm
about
fine.
teacher recertification and these new continuing education requirements. Right now, for 2016, 2017, the state ed is going to be requiring all teachers to recertify every 5 years. This recertification for teachers who were certified prior to 2004, as we know, just means going on and putting in your certification where you're currently working to recertify. For teachers after 2004, it means that in addition to recertifying every 5 years, you are going to be held accountable to 100 hours in a 5-year span of professional development. Well, that would all be fine, except currently it's 175 hours. So the punchline is that now with this new recertification and professional development requirement, we are going to require less professional development on the part of the teachers. So as we're in an age of more accountability for students and APPR and teacher evaluations, we are going to lessen the load that's required to maintain certifications. Why?
I guess it's easier now.
Perhaps, perhaps.
Must be.
But you know what, it's almost like you said regarding amendments and what's going to happen on the floor. When this rolls out, doesn't mean that teachers are going to have to pay to recertify. We're not really sure what all of the additional components are going to be, since it won't be until 2016, 17. So we'll wait and see.
If we rolled the big data now, we wouldn't need any of the
We can't focus on the
And the test
certification as
scores,
much. Right.
Okay, any other comments or questions from Jen? Thank you very much. Okay, and that brings us to our board reports and president's report. I just want to say, if you haven't yet read LOHUD, the Journal News Today sports section, page 2, there was a terrific article from our AP World History teacher, who is also our esteemed soccer coach, boys varsity soccer coach, Matt Allen, and I know the board, it was circulated, the link was circulated. And it was just a terrific article that was personal and inspirational, and it talked about the evolution, sort of the epiphany that he had about how the soccer team was focused on wins and not necessarily the journey way back 10 years ago, and how that evolved to really make it about the whole child. And how it's they call it the Byram way, and it's really about building the character, and it's really reminiscent of what Mike Galino always said, what he built our athletic program to be, that it's not just about the wins, although we love the wins, but it's really about the character of the child. It's about how he reacts to his players. You know, the soccer team is like a family, it's a brotherhood, and it's just an inspirational article, and I just suggest you go on LOHUD and just do a search for it. And congratulations to Matt Allen for that, and for making us proud on the field and off the field. So I just wanted to bring that up. And I also wanted to congratulate our 5 semifinalists for National Merit for how they performed in the 5 seniors, how they performed in the PSATs. And we'll be rooting for you in February as they announce the finalists. And that brings us to committee and board reports. Does anybody have a committee board report?
I have one announcement on October 5th at 7:30 p.m. in the Pleasantville High School Library. West Putt is offering a program on governance. It was actually the #1 requested topic of when we sent out a SurveyMonkey thing at the end of last year, was for a program on governance issues. So it'll be covering maintaining local control in today's environment, strengthening the board superintendent team, building interpersonal relationships and trust, and finding the balance between micromanaging and rubber stamping. So that's October 5th, 7:30 to 9:30. And you can register at any time by going to the West Putt website.
That sounds good.
And that's all I have between now and next board meeting.
Okay.
And I can just give a 1-minute update on the West Putt legislative priorities, which they set for the 15-16 year. They're very consistent with, I think, what would be important to us here at Byram Hills. It's the immediate end of the gap elimination and get the money that we deserve from Albany. It's redesign and review the teacher evaluation system, and then restoration of local control. It's to the point, and I think, very spot on in terms of direction.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you. Yeah.
We have at the town liaison meetings Friday morning at 7:45 a.m.
That's right.
And just to follow up on Robin's nice précis on the Matt Allen article, which is near and dear to me. And we don't emphasize wins, but when they come, we're not unhappy about them. And I would just note for the community that you have a boys soccer team that is ranked currently #1 in New York State. You have a girls soccer team that is ranked as an honorable mention, which is usually in the top 30 in New York State. And you have a boys football team that I think they're paying, I think the sports gods are making the football team pay the price for the baseball team's success in the spring to and Coach Saunders, because they've lost 3 heartbreakers. It's hard to explain how a team can score so many points and let you lose 3 games, I think by a combined total of 6-7 points, what have you. But keep it up, fellas. You're going through a tough road, but you're playing hard, and sometimes that's what happens in sports. And the volleyball, tennis is doing well, and also for the first time, I think, in my memory, which goes back to the last century, the girls field hockey team is ranked in the top 10 in Section 1, which is actually something that would be unthinkable years ago. So it shows how far that program has come. So ladies, congratulations to you. It's a
They're
great
4-1,
accomplishment.
which I thought
No,
was
really,
pretty
it's
impressive.
I think they maybe lost to Rye already. but-
Scarsdale.
Scarsdale, right, Scarsdale, which is a double A team. We play in a different section, class rather. But it's such an amazing journey this field hockey team has been through. So really, above all, congratulations to you and keep it going. It's quite an accomplishment. Credit to you and your coaches.
Thank you. Okay, and policy, we have our first policy meeting October 2nd, right? Okay, anybody else? Okay, and are there any topics for future agendas? Request for information?
One topic that I had, which is the other thing that we learned when we were with our other fellow school board members from around Westchester, is that there were a couple of letters written in the last couple of weeks to the Board of Regents, one by Scarsdale, one by Hastings. We have copies of them. And they really go right to the heart of the teacher evaluation system that now they're debating whether to make permanent or not permanent. And there was a meeting last week where our regent was vehemently, against the teacher evaluation system. There were many that I wouldn't say were for it, but were making the argument that given that that's the law right now, we need to move forward with it. So there's still quite a debate going on, and so there's still certainly a window for us to, express an opinion. So one of the things that I wanted to put on the agenda, to the extent that you thought it made sense, is talking about a letter along the same lines.
Timing, does the timing work? Our next
Yep.
meeting is 2 weeks?
Mhm.
I'd be fine with that. Jules, yeah?
There's plenty of material. Lower Hudson Council of School Superintendents put together a big advocacy paper on this, very detailed, as did West Putt with all the rationale. And I would recommend that, we sort of try and put a draft of this together for the packet so we have something to look at and we can...
Why don't you just send me the Scarsdale and Hastings letters and
Sure.
I got it
Yeah,
right
yep.
here. I will
I'm your way.
forward to you now.
I'll get a
and,
draft
All
together.
right,
You
that's
put something together and then we'll put it on the agenda.
That's great.
Does that sound?
great, thank you. Okay. All right, and that brings us to communications to the board, and anything that I had was already circulated. Can I have a motion to approve the board minutes from September 8th, 2015?
So moved.
And can I have a second?
Second.
Any comments? I had one. No one else has any? Just one minor one, Donna. Okay. It was the very first one, the call to order. The last sentence reads a little odd. Let me just open it up. Just the very last sentence of the first call to order, the first one. It reads odd. Right now it reads, Ms. Glad also thanked all the families for their support in making their children's return to school and ready to learn. I think it should be something like prepared and ready to learn, just a minor.
Okay, can you repeat the section? I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, it's under the call to order, number 1.
Okay.
Just the last sentence, it's just a little, that's it. Anybody else? Okay. All in favor of the minutes as amended? Okay, thank you. Okay. And forget what's next, very long.
I think we're toast.
Is that it? Okay, how
How
about, we
about
already
a
went into executive session, I
motion
said
to
that before.
adjourn?
Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
Yoo-hoo.
Thank you for watching. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, this is a